Alright, abusia mama makwaba abodi asampa TV. Musomfo odi asampa nie. Abusia na yenim ensansam a aya na ekoso efa yenua sojani a nipa bonefo ekoto ne tuo ewo kaaso ano. Na wei na Farouk Al Wahab. Na yenim se ono ne de eba ne se amayo se mu eba ne se security services. Oye nipa bi in fact okuta broad knowledge say anka yehina ye aso amana anka wo me individual person no ye betumi ameki huge changes eba boaye even cry ekofa say ebia ye nua na kwa me bidi akọ yehina ye fight say obetumi aba na ama MPP ni NDC omonyema ahodo no achecher oman no so na eman no ntumi enko nanim na yi na afiri wo yina no ebeye papa say ebeye aso na atie Farouk Wahab nasem na se yetie ebi kra na wo kra no ensesa kase bi ewo mu a obetumi aye ewa abra wonim true ono kra na mambe hu say ye wo nkofo ahodo bebre wo no mo kra na omo akoda afiase. Yes, me find say yenim say Nelson Mandela common thing na yenim say oko afiase by ansa na oba bedi president. Yen mampanyi osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah oma Ghana jene fa hodi ye che no to afiase before say oba be president. Ena ye won konfo ahodo ebi mo kra no na omo ye rebels ni ade ena omotumi ebe ye president. Sa information we wonim say yen education here enya de awubenya bi eno kra etwe adwensi so se nkofo ka se ena nana kwa me bedi akọ ye kan se convict se convict ami hu kan ne obi a ye che ne tu afiase a wapie aba no eno no and disqualify no because ebi o kra ebi a che ye che otu mu menka se ya che na kwa mbedi akwatu on the allegations bi na omo making na because omo ye enemies inti Farouk Wahab obi a wadawo ma se me posti ni bi a bo ho modern se obetie nsam ni mu ye na wo so wajoto niam down because o my Ghana eda wakoma so na opese ye nsesa ehia ma se me no mienu nimdie ebenya no na yaka bom yenya nimdie so enye se yebenya nimdie ne de ato wonum nemom yentu eho anamon se bia wo fie kra akọwanim na office bia wontumi nya bia wonchirima eba no fa educate omo na omo so omo hu kwan am betumi elevate omo na yama oman Ghana afa ne ntoma pa afla nti yenko ne yenko tie Farouk Al Wahab ne nsem wo kan efa ye military service na ho ne ekwan ye betumi afa so asiesie na ma oman Ghana ankasa atumi abeye krabere efise oman ye bambofo no kan say fapem no ensiye no oman na ankasa ehim because eba ne say infrastructure ne machines kra na ye nibi kantanka ewo honom kra na o kire say oye arms ne ade because this year no oman bia arms ni ade e protect no ho se na ebe ya obi kra be ye bibia na aye bibia ewo na oman Ghana de obi kra free ni ba bi no abeseche ye securities nti yakoni enkoti Farouk Wahab but mesro say answer na ebe kwa koti ye no on the July 1st ye ko akoye donation aboa inyanka ne omo kwan wo sesra ade ne ayarefo nti se ebia sika kakra na obenya ontare bi wuyisu efe wo hwa wunyusu ne biem se ye mpaboa bibibia se drinks se aduane na opese wo de boa me ekoye sa donation na my number na 0543304976 friend number ne so na o friend so a so betumi de wade sre de de ato wo se yenyi ho apaye ema na oba de no ebetie usu frɛ sɛne ɛbɛya sɛne wo so wo hu kwan na wade sɛde ahye anibiefo ano no yenko tie Farouk Wahab
Farouk akwaba
bacha mhisi
afombo hode na mu hu acheza
ye ninam ho
obrani de yedu echi ye ninamu Looking fresh always.
Thank you.
Hey, Farouk Al Wahab.
Boss.
Oh, Ghana.
No, I have.
Oh, yeah, sure. Untu kwai.
Chika, I came about 3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Anyways. Ana o pay yasa.
Oze.
O pay ya too much, ade. What did you?
Oh, David, sir, most of the sometimes no one check me time in
time moody actually me na me
oh so say
and because na a holiday ye na wi nti awbai
oh David say me a libra and say time na me time no so mo coordinated time am dey adwuma nim say o babo 2 hours wako so no yen share any coordinated time it's as and when it is sometimes you don't plan your time, it just happen. Nyame fault. Nti so you show me now nyame on say me libra. I'm just only trotting.
Very well. Once again, me some more kwaba na me na was say your tones are frail. Na waba na ye May Day, Workers Day, a holiday. Na only ye be ye adwuma ama Ghana for ati. I mean there be a Ghana for a happy sen ko mu be hu. Ye that's yamra fie, ye ntisi fie. Na before ye beba nsem na nkasa so no me kan fanfa say the last time one nkrofo bi ye nsem money kakra kire soldier for Ashaman.
Yes.
I mean me who stand.
Yes.
Baby na o di free but I think you were in support of whatever the military did to Ashaman for.
Yes, at that time. Yes.
At that time.
Yes.
Now in yenko dan sorry Ashaman me say kaswa.
Yes.
Adia for francis so genia ya yenesa and a man for in quote dream say whatever happened wo no a bit messy we say it a man for you very careful.
Okay.
You just said at that time.
Yeah,
but now your take on what the SEO we say no Kaswano.
Okay.
Your advice and your take on that near day.
Okay, first of all, I condemn any form of murder, whether legitimate or illegitimate, including even your friend is saying statutorily sentenced death row. I'm against that. Religiously, personally, I'm against any form of murder. Now, with regards to the soldier for now case scenario, the two cases are not the same. The death of a soldier relative, way a soldier, but the scenarios are not the same. We need the facts of the Kaswa one only to read say it was land related assassin. Whether it is validated say no say assassin assassin is left in the balance. Say mean cannot mean to me enkasa ampa assassin. But in absence of that fact, they see a shaman. It was an innocent soldier, Okoni baby, who was cold-blooded and killed by neighborhood, and then left the body on the street. In the neighborhood, one is saying, "Say ukum soldier ni, and yes, obonisu omo one seka kunono." There's nobody that could be murdered in that cold-blood action. One seka on team, on ye didi. On kasa. So what does it mean? It means that he might have struggled or shouted. Soldier wouldn't die just like that. Even excuse me, so be the sick I cry, may God forbid. You scream and shout. So are we saying that small road, that neighborhood, that window people were living there, people were living in their rooms, people were living in their homes. So if a murder had taken place against a soldier, against any individual, na de na to street so ayo obi back room, obi backyard, enya park bi so ne de no koto e na say order in a your friend is a street so a both sides in your houses na so one here. Then I'm to say if it should happen even today, soldier knows how to defend. They are to defend the nation. That is the hallmark of a military nejuma. And it is principally so okum soldier ni like that. Now the people in the area, Obeka is a military for no edi kind what is called only a press conference here, press release. So the people in the area no should voluntarily try to say omuma information leading to what happened. Did anybody come forward? The answer is no. Obi to me volunteer information, the answer is no. Then if you leave the military in a vacuum, say we should military atade and he was screaming say we a soldier. He was screaming say we a military ni. So about the girlfriend who, so about the papa who, does it warrant anybody so be in the neighborhood? Now the whole household, say 10 houses square no Ruby also want it, but they saw the body the next military would invade. I told you a story, and the story was very simple. It happened with Captain Kojo Chikata, retired late Captain Kojo Chikata of Ghana. When the Ghanaian troops call Congo, how he settled in Angola or Congo, no, you heard at the time of a young captain, our the Ghanaian troops call Babia, some were trapped out there, Omukumbino, and any troops were the Koyeno. The announcement and then the stand was that as they are going there to redeem and recapture the position and then also make sure say Ombe liberate Omakan. His statement was that anything movable, are you listening? Anything movable, they should ground it down, including dogs, animals, and human beings. That is what soldiers are trained to do. A Ghanaian Captain Kojo Tikata, you can call Ghanaian army, whoever, a lot of them are there, they know of this fact. Anything movable, because they don't know who the enemy is. And he took a troop with that say Omia 5 and not 10. No Akolu Subia, he wouldn't come to Ghana alone as a leader, as a commander, and where is your trooper? Mekungomawu. And he took that action. Heaven knows how many of them they killed before they liberated the people. And you want to mean sorry. So be a military uniform. Na Ghana yetimiya young boys. No mako gange, no mabu military. Case by case studies basis. Yes, say we say in the case, you know, as you said, say a lander. It is unjustified meaning. But if it is lander, or no any private affair, mean to me whoever he has an issue with, you know, that is another thing. But then that comes to the topic of what the military of Ghana, the assignment, the recruitment, the training, the professional career that is vested in them to act and what they are supposed to do. That is where my beef is. So if it is related to lander, it is not new, it is true. Because BSc George Otibunsu land, military in uniform, with military car with GA registered number.
Just few weeks ago. Yeah. And I what so stupidly, I'll use the word, I'm sorry, I'm not like that, but this time around, yes. Stupidly, look at how they went out there to that neighborhood at Ajengano, sitting on military pickups. The man videoed and captured them. I have some of the videos. Now mo tete pickup now on nice and say ho. Assuming say nipa na mokoye sadie no. If there was any sniper, if any of his security have loaded guns no mde atete, mububu dan wie mo kona mo tete pickup so amosre no, the person could have finished all of them. Relatively, is that a military training? So they are dumb when it comes to some of these things. So what really goes into their training? What are they to do and what are they to do? That brings you when Ghana, Niger issue, and the ECOWAS Niger, Mekachi say, you go and bring a protocol military officer who had not gone through any training for 6 months. Now, so they know Niger, you must be a waste because you waste the body, you waste their lives. And to say, if a military a soldier understand what he's doing, and no where Juma ye, and a barras ye train you without any reservations, ye train you will not turn yourself. Say obeko no akwa land because seemingly all over the country now, everywhere there is land issue. That is what we use military to do.
That is what we use to do now.
Because only a Juma.
But then in other jurisdictions, let's call Israel in perspective. Israel is the smallest army size, one of the smallest in the world. Much as I'm not fully in support of what the things they do, but ABB a woman kasa manufacturing, woman kasa production. How many weapons? How many artillery? BBN wa omoto efi obi ho. Israel manufacturing BBA. What about the Balkans? What about the Croatians? What about the Serbians? What about the Czech? Obiya military on one na ade on one manufacturing BBA A to Z. The one no na kese high pro niam bia on so source but obi so be source be free no. Young Ghana military, not even common farm. We don't have farm even for Ghana army. They themselves doing nothing. The country is not at war. The whole Ghana, as I've always told you, say there is a green bush. You need to be any military presence or baby will be kontoka. You need the presence of any rebels in any part of the Ghanaian bush. Our military fully active. Two holding problems. Our country and military team in solve here.
So. I mean, once a year far soldier for you far a senior high school for me can recruit, yes. Can officers. Now you far tradesmen for
yes.
Yes, be okay. Where you fitter, where you engineer, where you say those days.
Yes.
Those days school, mom, we BT building construction and ones for. Farouk, share acquire ye will come her, and you won't see any military men cry because the contractors, you know, and any or more, and a Nkama Sama Rudy, Ubu engineers, yes, I'm on 48 and 49 engineers, 48
regimental,
and you won't see them there.
Mammy Gacho,
Sesen, ya don't know when I say, or Angadi Bangia, now or guide to say the land,
Mebaho.
Does it really make sense?
Mebaho, which country on earth that is one military?
Top radio.
5, 6. An army commander should tell some of us who says military men, personnel, or trucks, no would be private bank, government bank. No, no of filling stations, private company. Now, but if the military really have something to do, is that the work of the military? So nobody is afraid of them. That is why because a Ghana military no ye did so kokone jeno. Now make us say only Langard fight to Kromulusu. Langard fight to Kromulusu. Because that is not your training. Because the military must be seen as one of the highly respected body. American military, what after 2 days I wash a uniform no. Or no crown, they hold the person in high esteem. Say, well, cry Ghana, United States flag. Cry say, what salute to say, or be worship the country, no, or be defending the country. That alone is even enough to take him to the next stage of life. Now, yeah, dear, Ubehu MP, Obia Chusu Peke, military or pe. Na military cry, excuse me, about the only person in the system that's supposed to have a military is the commander-in-chief of Republic of Ghana. Onukwa na ese military dinachi. It's the commander-in-chief. Any other person could be a police. The defense is for the military, for the government, for the president. He's the commander-in-chief. Only there, yes. Oh, here one police, oh, here one army. To balance the civil and to balance the defense. That is okay. Not to the sense MP. Onu chusu peke military so adini ko fie. O chusu peke military obehwe no fie. That is what it is the case. If you are talking about a country be or rough radical system, it is a Colombia ne your friend is saying other parts of the world, Ecuador, El Salvador need those places any Mexico, you can say it's okay military, they can guide the bank. And no, even with that one, it's seen as the company of the military. They have a company. That is the tax force company, which they work and also collect the money to take care. It's also internally generated fund for the company. Not the Ghana Ministry of Defense account. Not the commander-in-chief or the Ghana Armed Forces chief of staff account. No, it doesn't work out like that. Your country is radicalized. Into there are certain positions, government institutions be or they let the military to go and support. Ordinarily, no, the police is enough to take care of it. Now, your team free that kind of services to the people, services by the military in your film, and all what we are seeing is say, and I mean, okay, saying after this program, and you know we are, you will find military men on pickups going to guard somebody's property, somebody's land, or demolition exercise. And then the history and the story, it's always very simple. The military command says, we have not authorized anybody. But we have not seen anybody that they brought also in books. Mr. Otibonsu's case in perspective, in scenario, as a reference point. The numbers were there. So the military cannot tell me, say they don't know who was driving the car at that night. If the person is brought in, you should show who were the people sitting on the car, not more less than 5 or 6. Why are they? Have we seen one person numbered?
So do you say they have to punish that and
it is not to punish them. Is it the services to be rendered by Ghana Army so that we know that we have a military that work demolition exercise. Demolition exercise. Meanwhile, long-standing feud between Alabanyo and Nkonya Rep they are not up to 24 or Tiabofre. Ghana military cannot solve that problem. With all due respect, Alabanyo Nkonya went masovo. What about Boko? What about Boko?
Day in and out.
You go and build a barrier at Boko, and then an assailant will come behind there and kill the military. Military Boko. Omet masovo issue. So what is your beef on people's land? What is your beef? And it's just so rampant now.
Why are we there? Why are we here? I mean,
why are we here? Because of what? Disrespect to order. Because we don't, as a country, we don't respect our own services, laws, rules, and regulations.
At what point any who say a soldier for and a military much I say yes or no? Because say military who so busy or big guide or be land at what point and omulusu omu control
two Dansuma police officers in the 90s. Eko your friend Sablekuma Emma Obekai sa incident of the police people who were ginger any ninja.
Yeah.
They buried them alive, concreted them. Those people, some of them are still serving. They are serving, I think, life sentences. At that time was the beginning of all these genesis.
Oh.
We didn't have these things. That was the beginning of the land guards. Now start to Accra. It has led through that. But then for you to know, say, all the military guys on properties are government high profile officers. Government high profile officers. I don't think so. I'll be able to get access to any police or military officer to go and do that exercise.
David. Fire service crying and I can pay.
Do you understand me? And you shall land in a military focus so echo guide any domu. You see?
I mean the government officials.
Most of them, government of them, most of them.
Yeah.
And then of course predominantly also other estate developers.
More connected to politicians.
Yeah, because if even they are connected to politicians, some of them genuinely go to the military and ask for support, for guide, etc., depending on the terrain. Which I'm saying, say, if there's a justification authorized and authorized by Omar hierarchy, it be supported by a court document, I may not have necessary problem. It is also maybe to defend, but not traditionally say military ne journey post. Now a certain captain or a certain brigadier or certain command on one instruction say I've sent this and that to go and do XYZ. No more on authority because but if there's a military yes yes or sambo niema Israeli military or yaya telephones eton Bangladeshi military or niema or produce niema or palm polo shirts. Bangladeshi military or palm polo shirts at the Dubai in the name of a disguised company. Are you getting me? Philippines, military, they do a lot of things. Don't pam macro panties, military, Philippine military. Pam panties. There is an international brand, Victoria's Secret. Go and ask them. So American they pam the Victoria's Secret, sir. Military takes job and work. If they have nothing to do, redundant. They make service and make money. They are not going to say that produced by Philippine military. But they have a disguised company that happens to be as a manufacturer. But the job itself is done by military. Na Ghana Army, uniform. Oko Accra, now our koto military uniform. No wako Kaswa. No hotel any no apamamau. They can't even sew their own uniforms.
How can they respect you?
Ghana,
how can I respect
and
you?
Yes, that is how we brought our military to her knees. So woman can send the tom uniform. No aton in Pabwa, no aton cap, no pam. So what kind of military that are we? Luckily, Ghana, I would forever say, is the Switzerland of West Africa. And then Switzerland of Africa. Obi any country will say any problem. And the country will be also attack a country where to be the most miserable and messy country. Because our military is so soft, so weak.
But say at is a moko your friend is a Omuko Lebanon and as Omuko we say yeah I mean yeah military na normally omu defense that's what
musku na muko eni ankyere mo hwe me ko makaranta bedumabon because if I'm to educate you there is a difference between going for a combat war and going for peacekeeping. They go for peacekeeping be ko kra de
na yes e kokra e do say ntokwa mo e dane ya bohwisi na munya makwa underground.
No, but you're a peacekeeper. I understand them.
Yes,
they are peacekeepers. South Sudan so you share with me, you know me bebre and then okay peacekeeping. You are not going for aggression. One tokwa. It's only when you attack them and ombe shake up kakra. Yes, but beside that, if you're a peacekeeper, now once you say Ghana did 20
before betima atutu kra this a UN kra can't trust.
And then I make sure they are going for peacekeeping. Peacekeeping, you don't meddle yourself up in that country. Any problem say oh kwa kuntokwa. And America say Ghana military say or the 250 at the Lebanon or bar or the 260 neighbor. And he's saying omo mka ho no wo ye military na ko bi country na no bi ko wo a wo de akra no beka ho aba. Nigeria army ba Ecomac omuko Ecomac eko Sierra Leone no omuka flight ne ba no mo return a ebi ankura omugusu no omo iremo na omakọ from Sierra Leone no ene Liberia no omunko abo one full flight. Do you understand me? Into one kontokwa oko peacekeeping. It is all the 200 troops do mko.
So when I say commander in chief and I say ye blame no and CDS
yes.
And I say defense minister when I say blame.
Listen, the this. Defense minister is a ministry. Then when you come to the job itself, defense minister has got nothing to do with the ministry, how the army do their
so
thing.
CDS and I say yeah.
On the command, on the how it works, you have to tell Ministry of Defense. The Ministry of Defense, you know, think of is the ministry or not in the interface between the ministry and the government. They don't make laws for the soldiers. Ministry
so
of Defense
CDS do proposal ba and I said this oh the idea but said this is what we want to do. Now the commander in chief see there be me I don't support that. This is not their business.
So be it. That is the reason why our soldiers, you know, only access even who they employ or who they take on. Only recruitment, if they will tell you the truth, if the Ministry of Defense, if politicians and they recruiting or they brow, they only bring the boys omo trunk and omo your friends say omo mattresses
party boys
at one gate, then you have to take them. You don't screen them. You cannot screen them. You cannot do this, you cannot do that. Yeah, don't call you bondasi na chance. They run away. They can't. And they disrespect even the commanders on the ground. They disrespect them, the sergeant, the commander, the RSMs. They respect them. They don't even submit to the training. And then when it comes to even say, yeah, more postings, they choose and pick where they want to go. Because you, the commander, you are receiving instruction from anywhere possible. Send Makureni me or Accra or no boa minti keeping Wakra. Into Tamale onko.
Live on top 103.1, 50 minutes after 4. Final point, and the bro holiday edition of Final Point, and yeah, the bro 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. and yeah, the bro nti Farouk Al Wahab says or feel say about 7 p.m. and now 7 p.m. into no on fan feeding into us on journey is na ye kona na makacho nkomano doso ye bedi nkomo makacho say Farouk ye man of many paths into ye befa baabi abi ye hwe military kakra Farouk say wo ye CDS enka wo measures bring.
The first measure is to go back and look at the recruitment drive of the Ghana Army. It's completely abysmal.
And do you think you can do that?
That is what you should be able to do that. Without that, you are not a military. The military works on instructions of military. We're having the flag given to you by the country to defend the country.
Which of course you have someone on your commander in chief.
Well, your commander in chief does not mean so. No. If there's something happening at the presidency, the fallback is the military that has to move.
Can you threat the commander in chief with something and so that whatever officer be boa military no yeah or be support here?
My instruction, my advice example.
Okay.
President Bush visited
Ghana. Top radio.
President Kufuor time.
Yeah.
When he was, I'm on national air, so people will tell you, those who were there, Kojo Pianim and Co. They were there at the executive wing of the president, chief of staff.
Okay.
Before President Bush entered the Ghana president's office to have a meeting with President Kufuor has to come out for his room to be searched. His instructions from United States.
Our president of Ghana, the president of land.
You signed as an undertaking of the security requirement before so Babe visit you. Now, plus minus, we can go into details. But when President Bush was leaving out Ghana, the instructions was that, including military, including everybody on the tarmac, including immigration officer, nobody was supposed to turn around and look. President Bush. And I remember at that time, who was the commander of the airport, security commander of the Kotoka International Airport. We were with him at the gate. I had the badge. All the visits, anywhere President Bush went, we went there. We went to the presidency. So I'm talking about what really took place. Odru Hono, or say, I'm there. They said, come on, get the hell out of here. They're totally free. American Sergeant Yinisi form.
In charge of Ghana's airport.
Ghana's airport at that time. Go and ask him that I said they didn't even allow him to enter. Immigration officers were turning it. Nechi na the tarmac and the nice nenim wall. That was the instructions. Now listen to what follows. When President Bush had walked on the red carpet, the only person, more media men, all of them, yadimu cargo truck so on airport near town media personnel with their cameras. Instructions from where? From the American Ministry of Defense, the American Defense, the Secret Service, the CIA, the FBI's. They all come as a joint force and instruct the U.S. president what is to do. Now listen, Bush a flamboyant. He didn't really want to, because he had never been a military. Clinton was never a military. Obama was not a military. But George Bush senior ma be military, no. They know how to obey instructions. And to Bush and the President Kufuor, as he normally was working brag or okobie kano. The commander, I'm referring to the American commander of the security of President Bush. He shouted at him. So engineer how?
Or shouted president.
You dare not. Koyes actually Nana Akufo-Addo.
Me found some more.
Oh man, I mean, of course, actually, any African president, but South Africa they do. He shouted at him to stand there, and so I watch a U.S. president cannot sit in even his own car. The beast, you won't mean to them with that State Department, with that defense, with that security, with that secret services, tell him to go into the car. Because they were taking instructions from America.
Wow.
Because they were being satellite and so when they agreeably, he had the instruction to allow him to sit down, and don't go and hit your head. No can share card. That is how it works. So president, through a commander in chief, the military has to control you. It has nothing to do with Minister of Defense. Minister of Defense, he has nothing to do with how the military should do their things. They plan and plot and design their own strategy, how to defend, how to follow a president. And it's one now winning recruitment drive. Now be as it may say, you know, your politicians, you know, are decided what goes into our life. As far as our services delivery is concerned, you know, that is okay. Fine say, me I say when the DH, when the man is coming a campaign. Sadly, but when say, yeah, the boys in Kwa Bro say, Omia protocol recruit, you know, or Bawa, let the military laws prevail. That is the defense. Let them understand the discipline. That is the defense. Ghana Army. Remember the story and the military for so Montiase. Me say, they are too beautiful and too handsome even to be a military to go on a combat. Now, for military, overcall cantonments area. No, military and the pedicure and another about on uniform channel. Yeah, and the pedicure and manicure. Child the military or no, yeah, and pedicure, Niger military or no pedicure. That what could you answer on any cocoon? You see, we have just limited and brought our military to so low value. And it's so sad, say, if a young man sitting in a car, killed So sad. What did he go out there to do? Say on one land no crana. As long as say or share uniform no, it could have been say osu. It be crana or no anasasi. It could have been say one guy. It could have been say your friend is saying an unfortunate situation and a cocotono. But it has been a practice say said now no military for guard the land, military for demolish it, and they be or share uniform crack up a threat. Emma whoever will be a homo feud over the land into a kunu because a military one kuna be on so baby kunu. Naturally, no military net you crown. I don't think say net you be a crown. But see how miserably oko meeting on timely dead. You couldn't free. He only knows what he went there for. He only knows. Now he was not on duty, but he was in a uniform. So if you are not on duty and you are a uniform, what are you seeking to do? What are you seeking to attract? You are attracting fire on yourself. And that is what you got out of it. It is so sad. It is so painful. Say a young man or one ire or one ba or one mommy or one family at this time no will be a kunu. And Ghana as it is, you and I know say until the next 20, 35 years to come, 40 years, and unresolved mystery of death. As I've told you, nobody. Ghana kills more than any country in West Africa. No country in West Africa kills more than Ghana. No country, I'm talking about Ghanaian killing each other. Either ritual murder, land, days, battery, wife, children. Ghana averagely for the last 15 years, there's no country. Whoever wants to challenge, Minister of Interior can come, police can come, they should bring the data. Even Attorney General, unresolved murder cases, unresolved edaho.
Not even Nigeria.
Not even Nigeria. Nigeria talking about in numerical sense of the population, but average sense. How many times has somebody killed somebody in Togo? A whole year they don't register more than 5.
How where there? Because you are not there,
Papa. And I make sure say
unless maybe wait within and you be na
make sure say I am telling you, so take it from me. Ghana kills more than any other country in West Africa. We've been killing ourselves. Check it, Boko. How many armed robbers? Senegal, armed robber will be 5 minutes China. Senegal, they don't register more. The whole 2 years, they don't register more than 20.
But you always say Ghana is the most peaceful country.
Peaceful of the nationals, we, the citizens. But I'm talking about killings. It's peaceful. Baby and Tokabi, civil uprising be war. Baby a rebel uprising be war. Baby a hold up of military and police.
Yes,
Obi sofo osi waye no makum bi nurse ni asie no life ya kwacha ke tue nipa no oda ho we akum. How many politicians kwa do say nkofo akum mo? Journalists do say na akum mo. That in Cote d'Ivoire no kra waye war raged. Have you heard it? Ko Gambia ne kokum obi. Ko Senegal what Guinea. Mali won say Mali akum nipa. Benin ha what so obi awu. Every blessed day, I'm robber killed this, I'm robber killed that, I'm robber killed that. Put that one aside. Nigeria, I need more time than near 300. Nigeria robbery cost, but I'm talking about look at the vast land and the population of 250 to 350. Now our population just only 28 million or 30 million. Every blessed day, we are journalists, Ghana Web and other news platforms. Every blessed day.
I didn't tell you to put to stop to this.
How do you put stop? Because one, we have bad judicial system. 2, we have bad information processing system. We gather information, but we process bad information. And the police will take the complaints. You go for the national bottom. You go to police hospital, waiting for whatever. Why many of these murders and the police are saying you pano? You get bachi ni pano suswa. Onu ankasa na ye admitted no up to now court trial. In the case of Mankesim girl no mkuno.
Yeah.
Is it a country that you should waste time and energy to wait for any lawyer to come and sit in such a case?
Became guy no to chobi ni ono any
free of charge. Sell and you didn't court for 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they pronounce judgment.
Yeah.
na ye say state resources
sitting MP
ye near fat docket say is gone to Attorney General Department for advice. How many dockets know Attorney General and who is advising that docket?
And also blame why
what's that?
Judicial system.
But then your judicial system, Attorney General, can't you dispense of those cases and send it back? Police should go ahead.
And at top radio.
And then a Attorney General team with the Ghana laws and Ghana constitution say case now unresolved murder. I am from Attorney General. What is the police there? Cote d'Ivoire police there do the prosecution without resort to any Attorney General. That is not the work of Attorney General. That is not the work of Attorney General. Obia kumobi oni police mi oni ye exchange gunshot or two police need to okunu in a robbery incident. Ya chene ba na police na ankasa ne docket is what is alleged. Edi nipa nu kun next time no akwa allege ewo go sa allege. It is alleged. Suspect. Is it not sad? The country has lost, we've lost directions in many things. So some of us we get so overly emotional because you compare the country to other countries. Papa, go to Tanzania, go to a place like Kenya.
And at top radio.
Now go and see how Kenya law works. The police. Now ko jana ni Kenya military police. Now we exchange ya chewa ni abetwe ho ni etwe alleged suspect. Now no police ni a oku ni yonko police ni no. Na police ni sa sorry anopa no afa no de no court no akwaji adjournment no de no court to some extent a murderer police na de ne ka sika onu an pocket money e na kofa no nsawom no de ne trot room handcuff no de ne back court na ko.
Farouk yenya na ye shift na yemre ka se ye gina system ne military yemre no.
It's a joking paradise. This is
joking
paradise. This country.
You don't mean it.
Yeah, but it's a peaceful country. But it's a joking paradise. You don't know. Nenye joking paradise. Kwame Nkrumah Avenue up to downtown Accra. In front of the faces, in the eyes of the Ghana police. She be a market woman at the market na bedu. At me G road. Market woman G road. Now move to a chamber port. No move P. No move Shegu road. There's no police in Nijina. You cannot arrest her. Yes, I want trouble. Is it a joking paradise? It's not a joking paradise. Look at the traffic. Now the exit roads in the neighborhood. Obi mechanic a friend fitter. Etimiji one full street. No. Yeah, straighten work. Our road no so. Aji road. Na neighborhood. People in the neighborhood can't even park their cars. Na me metria road worthy.
Sorry.
Metria road worthy. Na mechanic in my area, in your area, in her area. Ono aji road. Enya ho no da. Wode the boys aye fi. No aje waje ni some paperwork ye ni bibia ho spray car je fingu ho mechanic aje cars e dey see road so for 25 years you were AMA
live on top 103.
Ano kwamo mienka na awodi nipa pina ekwa tete mu pao amani pampempema wale agu odia sampa spiritual and herbal center awo wo mo yade se wo mbe mu wanya basisi a yade bi tise stroke gonorrhea anabama wale mre e wampamu low sperm count wo mo wanu aduro tatahwe ene je sam se sabane sunsumu nsama wo mo tenete se ye sunsumu aware anasa yare bi ne yade amawo pampabone anabo ana wanya abai amane e court case wo betu charge osisi a enam omadwuma panti ni pampempem ene be fo bokofie ekoye sunsumu nyuma edemom samosini ene enzimani akabom dia sunsumu niama asie betu obi age wukunu anasa woyere awaresem adwuma sam akwantuom nsam ni nyina aya suma sam fabadan odia sampa spiritual and herbal center obehuyan of
New Koforidua ejoso ne konongo infinfin aye Ashanti region ehon ma number aye didi juma no aye 054 330 4976 and I say 020 134 0421 054 330 4976 and I say 020 134 0421
Odia Sampa Spiritual and Herbal Center. You be do us some amount.